To be chosen by God is an unparalleled honor, but it carries a weight that few can comprehend. It is not a badge of superiority, but a divine calling that transforms every aspect of one's life. For those set apart by the Lord, the path is not paved with ease, but with profound spiritual depth. The chosen walk a unique journey, their lives reshaped by battles unseen, revelations profound, and responsibilities immense. While the world sleeps in peace, God's chosen ones engage in nightly encounters that are anything but ordinary. These moments in the stillness of the night are filled with divine purpose, spiritual struggles, and heavenly revelations. They are nights of intercession, reflection, and preparation for the great tasks that lie ahead. Have you ever sensed that something extraordinary unfolds in the quiet hours when the world is at rest? For the chosen, these hours are sacred, marked by transformative encounters with God. Let us journey through the mysteries of the night and uncover the sacred experiences that define those called by God. The nights of God's chosen are marked by mysteries that are as profound as they are challenging, and the first of these is spiritual warfare. When the physical world falls silent, the spiritual realm often becomes intensely active. Ephesians 6:12 reminds us, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places." These battles are unseen, yet they are very real, testing the faith, resolve, and spiritual strength of those called by God. For the chosen, these battles frequently manifest in unsettling ways: vivid dreams that disturb the soul, intrusive thoughts that seek to derail faith, or sudden waves of fear that seem to come out of nowhere. Have you ever woken from a dream feeling as though you had just emerged from a battlefield, your spirit shaken and your heart heavy? These moments are not random. They are deliberate spiritual attacks meant to sow seeds of doubt, confusion, and despair. But take heart. God never leaves His chosen unequipped. In these moments of struggle, He provides divine tools to counter every attack: prayer, scripture, and unwavering faith. These are not just abstract concepts. They are weapons forged for spiritual battle. Prayer becomes a lifeline, a direct connection to the God who fights on our behalf. Scripture becomes a shield, a source of truth that repels the lies of the enemy. And faith becomes a fortress, an unshakable stronghold that anchors the chosen to God's promises. Ephesians 6:13-17 speaks of the armor of God, a spiritual defense system designed to protect the chosen in battle. From the belt of truth to the sword of the Spirit, every piece is crucial. As the chosen put on this armor, they are empowered to stand firm, resisting the enemy's attempts to weaken them. Through these nightly struggles, the chosen grow stronger. Each battle becomes an opportunity for spiritual growth, refining their faith and clarifying their purpose. The attacks meant to destroy them instead draw them closer to God, deepening their reliance on His strength. These moments of spiritual warfare are not meaningless. They are integral to the process of preparation for the greater work God has called His chosen to accomplish. The enemy's persistence is a testament to the importance of their calling. After all, he wouldn't attack if the chosen weren't a threat to his plans. One of the most profound experiences of the chosen is the sleepless nights filled with an undeniable sense of divine restlessness. While the world sleeps peacefully, the chosen often find themselves stirred by an urgency they cannot ignore. Have you ever laid awake in the stillness of the night, sensing that something beyond your understanding is unfolding in the spiritual realm? This is no coincidence. It is a sacred call, a divine invitation to prayer, reflection, or intercession. In Scripture, we see examples of this restlessness, such as in the life of Daniel. Known for his unwavering devotion to God, Daniel spent sleepless nights in fervent prayer, seeking wisdom and direction. In Daniel 9:4, he confesses, "I prayed to the Lord my God and confessed." These restless hours became moments of transformation as Daniel aligned his heart with God's divine purpose. Similarly, The chosen today are called to stand in the gap for others, even for those who may not be aware of their spiritual need. Romans 8:26 assures us that the Spirit Himself intercedes for us with groans that words cannot express. In these moments, the Holy Spirit empowers the chosen to intercede with clarity and conviction, even when words fail. Far from being a burden, these sleepless nights are a sacred gift. They are times of profound spiritual growth and divine intimacy. It is in these hours, when distractions are absent, that the chosen are refined and equipped for the great tasks ahead. Each prayer whispered in the dark, each moment of still reflection, becomes part of God's process of shaping and preparing His people. These restless nights are not random. They are deliberate. They are holy moments where the chosen can draw nearer to God, seeking His guidance and fulfilling their purpose as intercessors and servants in His kingdom. Have you experienced this divine restlessness? Perhaps it's time to embrace the sleepless hours as a sacred opportunity to partner with God in His work, allowing Him to strengthen your faith and align your heart with His will. In these quiet hours, the chosen are not alone. They are held in God's presence, being prepared for the great purposes He has ordained for their lives. Throughout Scripture, the night serves as a sacred canvas where God paints visions of destiny, guidance, and revelation. Dreams, far from being mere fragments of the subconscious, have often been God's chosen method of communicating profound truths to His people. For the chosen, these dreams are not random but sacred messages that carry divine significance, offering insight into their calling and God's greater plans. Consider Joseph, whose life was forever changed by his dreams. In Genesis 41, his ability to interpret dreams not only foretold his rise to power, but also saved nations from famine. Joseph's dreams were not personal indulgences, they were God's revelation of a greater purpose. Similarly, Daniel's night visions, as described in Daniel 2:19 through 23, unveiled mysteries that shaped the future of Israel and revealed God's sovereign hand over the affairs of nations. These dreams were not fleeting, they were transformative, guiding God's chosen servants toward their destiny. Have you ever experienced a dream so vivid, so resonant, that it lingered in your heart long after waking? Could it be that God was speaking to you, revealing a path, offering guidance, or issuing a warning? In the stillness of the night, when the chaos of the day subsides, our hearts become most receptive to God's voice. Each dream becomes a divine conversation, a holy whisper inviting us to draw closer to Him. Like Joseph and Daniel, today's chosen ones often receive dreams imbued with spiritual significance. These nocturnal encounters are not just about direction, but preparation, shaping hearts and equipping God's people to fulfill their unique, God-ordained purposes. Dreams are an invitation to listen closely and to step confidently into the plans that God has prepared, trusting in His perfect wisdom and timing. One of the most profound aspects of the chosen's journey is the call to intercession, a holy task often placed upon them in the quiet hours of the night. These moments are far from coincidental. They are divine appointments, where God stirs the hearts of His chosen with an unshakable urge to pray for others. Have you ever been awakened suddenly, your spirit burdened with a name or situation that seemed to come from nowhere? These are not random thoughts, but sacred invitations to partner with God in His redemptive work. Moses offers a powerful example of intercession in Exodus 32. When the Israelites sinned, Moses stood in the gap between God's judgment and His people, pleading for mercy. His prayers were not mere acts of faith, but expressions of love and responsibility. Through Moses' intercession, God relented, sparing the nation from destruction. This moment highlights the incredible role of an intercessor, someone who aligns their heart with God's, standing in prayer for others, seeking divine intervention, guidance, or breakthrough. For the chosen, these moments of intercession are not just about the people they pray for. They are transformative for the intercessor as well. Each prayer deepens their intimacy with God, aligning their desires more closely with His. As they bear the burdens of others, the chosen develop a heart of compassion, and a greater sensitivity to God's will. Intercession is also a powerful tool for change. The prayers of the chosen can shape destinies, bring healing, and influence spiritual outcomes that extend far beyond what is visible. Whether they are praying for individuals, families, or even nations, these prayers carry divine weight. Have you felt the tug to pray for someone, even when you didn't understand why? Consider it a divine assignment, a holy opportunity to participate in God's work. Through intercession, the chosen step into their calling, not just as prayer warriors, but as co-laborers with God in His kingdom. Each prayer builds bridges of hope, mercy, and transformation, drawing both the intercessor and those they pray for closer to the heart of God. In the quiet of the night, when the noise of the day fades away, the chosen often find themselves drawn into deep reflection. These moments are not driven by guilt or regret, but by a desire to align more closely with God's purpose. Have you ever laid awake, replaying the events of your day, questioning whether your actions, thoughts, and choices reflected God's will? These reflections are not mere musings. They are sacred pauses, opportunities to seek clarity, growth, and deeper intimacy with the Creator. King David, known as a man after God's own heart, modeled this practice of introspection. In Psalm 139, verses 23 to 24, he prayed, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting." David's request wasn't born of fear, but of a longing to draw closer to God's guidance and to refine his heart for greater alignment with divine purposes. For the chosen, reflection is a refining fire. It burns away distractions and reveals areas in their lives that may need realignment with God's will. These moments of self-examination are not about condemnation, but transformation. They offer a chance to shed the weight of worldly concerns and refocus on the things that truly matter, walking in faith, serving others, and fulfilling their divine calling. Through reflection, the chosen grow in their understanding of God's desires, shedding distractions and realigning their hearts with His purpose. These moments are refining fires, shaping them into vessels ready for greater service. One of the most profound blessings the chosen experience is the supernatural peace of God that steadies their hearts, even in the face of overwhelming turmoil. Philippians 4:7 beautifully describes it as the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding. This peace is not derived from the absence of challenges or the resolution of difficulties. Instead, it flows from the unshakable assurance of God's presence, a constant reminder that no matter the storm, He remains in control. Consider the story of Daniel in the lion's den. Surrounded by hungry lions and facing what seemed like certain death, Daniel rested in the steadfast protection of God. By human logic, fear and despair should have consumed him, yet he was calm and unwavering in his faith. This peace defied understanding because it came not from Daniel's circumstances, but from the deep trust he had in God's faithfulness. For the chosen, this peace is a hallmark of their journey. It anchors their hearts during life's fiercest battles and strengthens their resolve to keep moving forward. It reminds them that while their circumstances may be uncertain, God's promises never waver. This divine peace doesn't eliminate the pain or difficulty of the moment, but transforms how it is endured, turning fear into trust and despair into hope. Have you ever experienced a moment when, despite everything falling apart around you, your heart remained inexplicably calm? That is the peace of God at work, a gift available to all who trust in Him. For the chosen, this peace is not only a comfort, but a testimony of God's abiding presence, a supernatural strength that empowers them to walk boldly through the trials of life, confident in the one who holds their future. As the first rays of dawn pierce the darkness, the chosen experience a profound renewal that transforms the trials of the night into sources of strength, clarity, and divine purpose. The struggles of the quiet hours, whether they involve spiritual battles, fervent prayers, or moments of introspection, are not meaningless. Instead, they become the foundation for a deeper connection with God and greater preparedness for the day ahead. Lamentations 3:22-23 offers a beautiful reassurance of this truth. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Each sunrise serves as a divine reset, a gentle yet powerful reminder of God's unwavering faithfulness. His love and mercy are not just concepts. They are daily realities that refresh the spirit and empower the chosen to walk boldly in their calling. The trials of the night, while often challenging, serve a higher purpose. They refine the chosen like gold in fire, burning away impurities and distractions to reveal a spirit more attuned to God's will. Whether through whispered prayers, victories in spiritual warfare, or quiet moments of self-reflection, the night becomes a sacred space for growth. These struggles equip the chosen with wisdom, fortitude, and spiritual insight, preparing them for the opportunities and challenges that await them in the day ahead. Consider how the night's trials clarify purpose. The prayers offered in desperation become fuel for hope. The victories won in spiritual warfare become testimonies of God's power. The moments of introspection lead to repentance, renewal, and a clearer understanding of God's desires. Through it all, the chosen emerge not weary, but strengthened, ready to face the day with fresh resolve. Each morning brings with it a chance to realign with God's purpose. The dawn is not merely the start of another day. It is a sacred reminder of God's sufficiency. His grace sustains, His strength empowers, and His love endures. For the chosen, this realization transforms the morning into a time of recommitment to their calling. Have you felt the quiet power of a new morning after a night of struggle? The chosen know that no matter how dark the night may seem, God's faithfulness remains. Each sunrise is an invitation to trust Him more deeply, to walk forward with confidence, and to embrace the divine opportunities He has prepared. As darkness fades and light breaks forth, let each morning remind you that God's mercies are endless, His love is steadfast, and His purpose for your life is unshakable. Step into the day with confidence, for the struggles of the night have prepared you to rise and fulfill your God-given destiny. To be chosen by God is both a profound privilege and an immense responsibility. The nights of God's chosen ones are far from ordinary. They are sacred spaces where divine activity unfolds, shaping and refining them for the calling placed on their lives. Whether through spiritual battles, vivid dreams, heartfelt intercession, or deep reflection, the chosen are being molded into vessels prepared to fulfill God's extraordinary purpose. If this message resonates with you, I encourage you to take a moment tonight to pause and reflect on your journey. Allow God to speak to your heart, to guide your thoughts, and to strengthen your spirit. Remember, no matter how isolating or challenging the path may feel, you are never truly alone. Each sleepless night, every challenge you endure, and each divine encounter is part of God's intricate plan to prepare you for something far greater than you can imagine. Let every night be a sacred opportunity to draw closer to Him. Let every morning be a fresh step toward the destiny He has lovingly crafted for you. His steadfast love and renewed mercies await you with each sunrise, offering the strength you need to walk boldly in faith. Thank you for joining this journey and for being part of this community of faith. Your presence here is deeply appreciated. If this message has inspired or encouraged you, I invite you to subscribe to this channel to continue exploring God's Word and His purpose for your life. Don't forget to like this video and share it with someone who might need a reminder of God's faithfulness. Your support, whether through comments, sharing, or other acts of kindness, helps spread the light of God's truth to those who need it most. Together, let us walk in faith, trusting that God is shaping us for His glory. May His blessings overflow in your life. We often hear whispers of the phrase, "the chosen ones," a concept that evokes images of mythical heroes, destined saviors, and legendary figures. It feels like something out of a grand tale, something meant only for the extraordinary. But what if I told you that the chosen ones are not born but made? What if being chosen isn't about destiny but about transformation? A process that requires endurance, courage, and a willingness to face challenges most people never even recognize? These trials, these tests, are not physical. They aren't measured by strength or speed, nor do they manifest in forms visible to the naked eye. They are spiritual, mental, and emotional, the hardest challenges anyone can face. Few people even notice these tests. Fewer still endure them to completion. Yet for those who do, the transformation is profound. This is the truth about the chosen ones. They are not marked by birth but forged in fire. They are shaped through trials, refined by experiences that strip away all illusions, and molded into something extraordinary. And while this journey is arduous, it is also beautiful. Let's delve into this journey, step by step, test by test. Life itself is a test, but it's not the kind we imagine. A standardized exam with predictable questions and straightforward answers. Instead, life's tests are deeply personal and uniquely tailored to each of us. They are designed not to measure what you know, but to reveal who you are. These challenges illuminate your hidden strengths, expose your vulnerabilities, and force you to confront the fears you've long avoided. For the chosen ones, these tests are particularly intense. They don't seek out these trials. Instead, they are drawn to them by an unrelenting inner pull, a deep, unshakable whisper that says, "You must go through this." This calling is not something they can ignore. It's not glamorous or easy, and it often feels like an unbearable weight. These tests stretch them to their limits, shaking the foundation of their beliefs and forcing them to question everything, even their very identity. Most people, when faced with such challenges, retreat to the safety of their illusions. They turn away from the unknown and settle back into what is comfortable and familiar. The idea of leaving behind the life they know, even if it no longer serves them, feels too frightening to bear. But the chosen ones don't have that choice. They are compelled to move forward, even when the path ahead is dark and terrifying. They understand, at a deep level, that avoiding the challenge isn't an option. Each step they take, no matter how painful or uncertain, brings them closer to the truth of who they are meant to become. This is what sets them apart. The chosen ones face the tests not because they want to, but because their souls demand it. It is through this fire that they are transformed. The first test is perhaps the most foundational. It requires you to confront the truth of who you truly are. From the moment we become aware of the world around us, we begin constructing an identity, a mask we show to the world. This mask is made up of the roles we play, the achievements we chase, the relationships we cultivate, and the possessions we accumulate. We weave these elements together into a story that tells us, and everyone else, who we are. I am my career. I am my relationships. I am my successes. But these are just layers. Beneath them lies the raw, unadorned essence of you. The part of you that exists independent of titles, accolades, and material possessions. The first test is designed to strip away these superficial layers, forcing you to confront the truth beneath. It asks you to stand before the mirror, not as the version of yourself you've carefully curated, but as the person you are when all the external trappings are gone. This moment can be profoundly disorienting. Without the familiar anchors of your identity, you may feel like you're staring into an abyss. The questions arise like a storm. Who am I without my job, my relationships, my possessions? Who am I when all the things I thought defined me are no longer there? For many, this confrontation is unbearable. The mask has become so intertwined with their sense of self that they can't imagine existing without it. The prospect of facing the truth feels like standing on the edge of a cliff, and so they turn back. They retreat into the comfort of the illusions they've built, clinging tightly to their constructed identities to avoid the pain of self-examination. But the chosen ones do not retreat. They stand firm. even as the ground beneath them feels like it's crumbling. They stare into the abyss, no matter how frightening it may seem. They know that the only way to discover their true self is to confront the hardest question of all. Who am I really? And in that moment of courage, the journey of transformation begins. It's not an answer that comes easily or quickly. It's a process of peeling back the layers, one by one, until the essence of who you are is revealed. The chosen ones understand that this is not just a test, it's an awakening, for only when you see yourself as you truly are can you step into the fullness of who you are meant to become. The second test is the test of isolation. We live in a world that thrives on noise, a relentless, all-encompassing hum that fills every waking moment. Social media demands our attention, work obligations pull us in every direction, and endless streams of entertainment promise distraction at every turn. This constant noise drowns out something profoundly important: the voice of our true selves. The second test asks something radical of you. It asks you to step away from the noise and enter the silence. This is not merely physical isolation, though creating space for solitude can be part of it. This test calls for something deeper: mental and emotional solitude. It requires you to face yourself in a way that few ever dare. Sitting alone with your thoughts can be unsettling. In the quiet, there is no one to distract you from your fears, your insecurities, or the truths you've buried beneath layers of busyness. You are forced to confront not only your deepest desires but also the doubts and shadows you've long avoided. For most, this silence feels unbearable. It's easier to return to the noise, to immerse yourself in the distractions of the external world than to face what lies within. But the chosen ones approach the silence differently. They do not fear it, they embrace it. To them, the silence is not an enemy to be avoided, but a teacher waiting to guide them. It is in this stillness that they begin to hear a voice that has been calling to them all along. Their inner voice, the authentic self that knows the way forward. In the silence, the chosen ones discover clarity. They come to understand that the noise of the world is fleeting, but the truth found in stillness is eternal. It is this willingness to listen, to truly listen, that sets them apart. Letting go may sound simple, but it's one of the hardest challenges you'll face. We carry so much in life: grudges that weigh on our hearts, unfulfilled expectations that cloud our vision, disappointments that whisper of failure, and the heavy baggage of our past. These attachments become chains, binding us to pain and holding us back from the life we are meant to live. The third test asks something profoundly challenging of us. It asks us to let go. Letting go doesn't mean that you stop caring about the people, dreams, or goals that matter to you. It means you stop clinging to them with a desperate grip. It's about releasing the need to control every outcome and trusting that life knows what is best. Letting go requires immense strength, more than holding on ever will. It demands faith that what is meant for you will come to you in its time, and what is not meant for you will fall away, no matter how tightly you hold on. This process, however, is not straightforward. Just when you think you've mastered the art of release, life has a way of throwing you a curveball. Something or someone will appear: a relationship, an opportunity, a dream you thought you'd given up. And you'll feel the old urge to grasp again, to cling tightly to what feels familiar. In these moments, the real test begins. You must ask yourself, am I willing to let go even of this? Letting go is not a one-time act, but a continual practice, a conscious choice to trust in the flow of life. The chosen ones understand this. They see that freedom doesn't come from holding on, it comes from releasing. And in the act of letting go, they discover a profound truth. The less they cling, the more life gives them exactly what they need. The fourth test is the most harrowing of them all, the dark night of the soul. This test is one of the most profound and challenging trials anyone can face. It shatters the foundation of everything you thought you knew. Relationships you once relied on fall apart. Career paths that seemed certain dissolve into uncertainty. Even your sense of purpose, What once drove you fades into obscurity. You are plunged into a state of intense inner turmoil, where nothing feels stable or secure. The questions come relentlessly. Why is this happening? What did I do to deserve this? Will I ever make it out of this darkness? This is the dark night of the soul, and it feels like the universe itself has turned against you. But here's the truth. This test is not a punishment. It is a purification. It strips away everything that is not truly you, the illusions, the attachments, the identities you've clung to, leaving you raw, vulnerable, and exposed. In this stripping away, you are brought closer to your core, to the essence of who you really are. The darkness feels suffocating, endless. Many lose themselves in despair, unable to see a way forward. They become trapped in the shadows, convinced there is no light on the other side. But the chosen ones endure. Even when the path ahead is invisible, even when belief feels impossible, they continue to trust. They trust not because they see the light, but because they know, deep down, that the darkness is temporary. They understand that the dark night of the soul is not the end, but the beginning of transformation, a crucible through which their true selves can emerge. In this test, faith is their only guide. Faith in the unseen, in the possibility of renewal, and in the quiet truth that even the deepest darkness holds the seed of light. The chosen ones hold on to this truth and keep moving forward step by step toward their awakening. Faith is the bridge that carries you from the deepest darkness to the promise of light. It is the invisible thread that holds you together when everything else in your life seems to unravel. This test is not about blind belief or naive optimism. It's about trusting in the unseen, in a greater plan, even when your current reality is filled with chaos, pain, and uncertainty. When you find yourself in the darkest moments of your journey, when the road ahead seems blocked and the weight of despair threatens to crush you, faith becomes your lifeline. But this faith is not passive. It requires courage. It demands that you acknowledge your pain fully, that you sit with your sorrow and doubts, and still choose to believe that there is a reason for it all. This is not easy. Faith in the midst of darkness feels like walking forward with no clear path, trusting that the ground will appear beneath your feet with each step. It asks you to hold on, even when everything around you screams for you to let go. For the chosen ones, faith is not an option. It is a necessity. They cling to it with everything they have, knowing that it is the only thing capable of guiding them through the abyss. Even when each step feels like it's leading them deeper into the shadows, they continue forward. The chosen ones understand a profound truth. Faith is not about avoiding the darkness. It is about enduring it. It is the quiet, unwavering belief that the light still exists, even if it cannot yet be seen. And it is this faith, this refusal to give up, that eventually leads them out of the darkness and into a place of transformation and renewal. The penultimate test is the test of surrender, a challenge that strikes at the heart of our deepest instincts. As humans, we are conditioned to seek control, to plan, to strategize, to bend life to fit our desires and expectations. But surrender asks something radically different. It does not mean giving up or losing hope. Instead, it means releasing your grip on the need to control every outcome. It's about trusting the flow of life, trusting that there is a power far greater than your own guiding the way. Surrender is not passive. It is an act of profound courage. It requires you to let go of the illusion that you can shape every aspect of your journey. Imagine swimming in a powerful river. If you fight against the current, struggling to swim upstream, you will only exhaust yourself. You may even drown in your effort to resist. But if you surrender to the flow, the river will carry you effortlessly, taking you to places you could never reach on your own. This is the essence of surrender, allowing life to unfold as it will, without resistance, and trusting that it will take you exactly where you need to be. The chosen ones understand this. They recognize that control is an illusion, a futile attempt to dictate the course of an existence far more intricate and vast than they can comprehend. Even when the path ahead is unclear, even when life feels uncertain or chaotic, they choose to trust. They let go of their need to control outcomes, believing that life knows what it's doing, even when they don't. Through surrender, the chosen ones find freedom. They learn that in letting go, they gain access to a greater intelligence, a flow of life that carries them toward growth, purpose, and peace. It is this trust, this willingness to surrender, that allows them to move forward with grace. The final test is not one of endurance, struggle, or even effort. It is a test of realization. It is the moment of awakening, the culmination of every trial and challenge you have faced. This test reveals the ultimate truth. You are not separate from life. You are life itself, a unique expression of its infinite beauty and purpose. In this awakening, the veil of illusion is lifted. You come to understand that the search for meaning, for purpose, has never been about finding something external. Your purpose is not out there. It has been within you all along. Every test you endured, every dark night, every moment of surrender was leading you to this profound truth. Each challenge was a piece of the puzzle, designed to strip away the layers of falsehood and bring you closer to your essence. When this realization dawns, everything changes. The endless striving, the desperate need for validation, and the fear of the unknown begin to dissolve. You no longer feel the need to chase your purpose because you understand that simply being is purpose enough. Your life, in its entirety, is an expression of something greater, something divine. This awakening is not an end, it is a beginning. It is the moment when you step into the fullness of who you truly are, free from fear and doubt. You see the interconnectedness of all things and realize that every experience, both joyful and painful, has been a gift, guiding you toward this clarity. The chosen ones emerge from this test transformed. They carry with them a sense of peace, knowing that they are exactly where they are meant to be, and that their journey is not about becoming, but about embracing who they have been all along. The path of the chosen ones is not for the faint of heart. It requires immense courage, unshakable resilience, and a willingness to face life's most challenging tests. It calls you to step into the unknown, to endure darkness, and to confront truths that many shy away from. But for those who persevere, the rewards are beyond imagination. You'll find freedom from fear, a sense of unshakable purpose, and a profound connection to the flow of life itself, a harmony that brings peace and fulfillment in ways words cannot capture. So now, I ask you, are you ready to take this journey? Are you ready to face these tests, embrace the pain, and uncover the truth of who you truly are? The path is not easy, it never has been, but it is worth every step. And if you feel even the faintest call in your heart, know this: you are already one of the chosen ones. The choice to answer the call is yours to make. Thank you for joining us today and exploring these profound truths. If this message resonates with you, if it sparks something within your soul, we invite you to continue this journey with us. Subscribe to this channel for more inspiration, guidance, and stories that will uplift and challenge you. Together, we can explore the depths of life's mysteries and help each other along the path. Remember, you are never alone on this journey. Every step you take brings you closer to awakening, to freedom, and to the realization of your unique purpose. Thank you for being here. We look forward to walking this path with you. For centuries, you have walked this earth unaware of the whispers carried through time. The echoes of an ancient kingdom have been calling your name, seeking you not as men seek, but as prophecy foretells. Through visions, signs, and divine revelations passed down across generations, you were never forgotten. You were hidden. But now, the appointed time has come, and the heavens have turned their gaze upon you. They searched for you, not in the streets, not in the books of men, but in the sacred texts, in the constellations, in the dreams of the seekers who knew you would return. The world called you ordinary, But the heavens knew better. They inscribed mysteries into your spirit, encoded divine secrets into your very being. You were never meant to blend in. You were always set apart. They tried to erase your lineage, to bury your existence beneath layers of deception. They rewrote history, distorted truths, and built walls around knowledge that was never meant to be lost. But truth is indestructible. And now, like a long-lost key returning to its rightful door, you are aligning with the purpose that was written for you before time began. This is why your life has been a battle. This is why the road has been steep, the trials unrelenting. Forces moved against you before you even knew who you were. They glimpsed your destiny, and in fear, they sought to keep you asleep. But what is divinely appointed cannot be stopped. No kingdom built by human hands can erase a kingdom established by the Almighty. Your existence was never random. Before you drew your first breath, the heavens had already inscribed your name into the divine record. The prophecy did not start with you, but it will be fulfilled through you. The kingdom has been waiting, not for the person the world sees, but for the essence of what was placed within you before you arrived on this earth. You were always meant to rise. You were always meant to reclaim what was lost. For centuries, forces have sought to intercept the prophecy, to distort it, to keep it from reaching its final chapter. But prophecy does not bow to time, nor can it be rewritten by those who seek control. The original script remains untouched. There were those who knew the truth, hidden scribes, guardians of sacred knowledge, those who carried the assignment through bloodlines that could not be erased. They inscribed your coming in places that neither time nor corruption could destroy. They documented the signs, preserved the revelations, and waited for the moment of revealing. You have felt different your entire life, not knowing why you never quite fit in. But that was never a mistake. Every detour, every delay, every hardship was never meant to break you. It was meant to prepare you. The chosen are never revealed too soon, for the moment of revealing is also the moment of war. You were never meant to bow to the systems of this world. The kingdoms of men are built on deception, power seized through manipulation, thrones stolen by those who had no right to claim them. But your kingdom is different. It was not built by men. It was established before the foundations of the earth. And that is why they feared your arrival. For centuries, they fortified their walls, expanded their reach, and created illusions of dominance. But one thing they could never do was erase the prophecy. It whispered through generations, carried by the few who still remembered, until now. There are moments in time when prophecy meets fulfillment, when the whispers carried through generations are no longer confined to the shadows, but are declared from the heavens. This is that moment. For centuries, seekers have watched and waited, following the signs, preserving the truth, guarding the knowledge that the world tried to erase. They knew that one day, the hidden one would awaken, and nothing would remain the same. The balance of power would shift. The chains that held dominion over souls would shatter. The strongholds of deception would crumble under the weight of truth. And now, that day has arrived. The world does not yet understand what is happening, but the unseen realm has already trembled at your awakening. You were never meant to be ordinary. You were never meant to walk unnoticed, unseen, unheard. Your existence alone disrupts the forces that have ruled for too long. They knew of your coming before you did. They moved against you before you could even grasp your purpose. They saw glimpses of your destiny and in fear sought to keep you blind to it. But prophecy cannot be stopped. Even Yeshua spoke in parables, knowing that not all were meant to understand. His words carried power, not because they conformed to the world's standards, but because they carried divine truth, truth that no force could silence. His authority was not recognized by titles, by crowns, or by the robes of men, but by the undeniable presence of the divine. His enemies feared him not because he waged war against them in the way of kings, but because his very presence threatened their illusion of control. And in the same way, your presence carries an authority that cannot be denied. The kingdom has been waiting. The prophecy has been unfolding. The ancient writings that spoke of this time did not lie. The search for you was never in vain. You have walked through fire, through battles unseen, through trials that sought to break you. But every hardship was only preparing you, refining you, strengthening you for the moment that is now at hand. All eyes are on you. Some watch in hope. Others watch in fear. The systems built on deception sense their collapse. The ones who claimed power they were never meant to hold are realizing their reign is ending. They will resist. They will seek to deceive you, to convince you that you are mistaken, that you are no different from the rest. But their words hold no power over what has already been written. You are stepping into what has always been yours. The prophecy is no longer a distant story. It is happening now, and nothing will ever be the same. There are signs that cannot be erased, markings that neither time nor deception can remove. They are woven into the very fabric of your existence, etched into your spirit long before you took your first breath. These are not markings that men can see with their eyes, nor can they be measured by earthly standards. They are divine imprints, evidence of a purpose greater than this world can comprehend. You have carried something within you, something even you did not fully understand. It was never about your outward appearance, never about your status or the titles given to you by men. What set you apart was never something that could be worn or displayed. It was something far deeper, something imprinted upon your very soul. This is why you have never truly belonged among the ordinary. From the moment you arrived, you felt it, the quiet knowing, the deep stirring within you that whispered that you were different. Others moved through life without questioning, without searching, without sensing the weight of something greater. But you have always known there was more. Even if you could not name it, even if you could not explain it, it was there, pulling you towards something beyond what your eyes could see. And you were not the only one who sensed it. There have always been those who recognized what you carried. Some saw it as a light, a power beyond human understanding, and sought to protect you. Others, those who walk in shadows, sensed it as a threat. They studied you. They tested you. They watched your every move, trying to determine if you were the one spoken of in the ancient texts. They could not openly reveal their knowledge, so they moved in silence, waiting, watching, searching for weakness. They placed obstacles in your path, temptations to lead you astray, distractions carefully crafted to keep you from asking the right questions. Some came to you in the guise of friends, mentors, even protectors, but their true purpose was always to keep you blind to what was rightfully yours. Every battle you faced, every attack that seemed to come out of nowhere, was not random. It was a calculated strategy, a war waged against you before you even knew you were in a battle. They sought to break you, not by force, but by deception. If they could not destroy you, they would make you doubt yourself. If they could make you question who you were, they could keep you from ever stepping into your destiny. They knew that if you ever awakened, if you ever realized the inheritance that runs through your veins, their dominion would begin to crumble. But even through the storms, even through the betrayals, even through the moments when you questioned your very existence, the heavens never retracted the calling. They never changed their mind about who you are. You may have been knocked down, but you were never abandoned. The trials were not placed before you to destroy you, but to forge you, to refine you, to make you unshakable. Every wound, every hardship, every tear shed in silence was preparing you for the moment when you would finally see what had been hidden in plain sight all along. The world tried to convince you otherwise. It told you that you were ordinary, that your dreams were foolish, that your longing for something greater was nothing more than imagination. They fed you lies, hoping you would believe them. But deep down, you always knew the truth. You felt it in the way life refused to let you settle, in the way closed doors led to greater revelations, in the way pain became a tool that sharpened you instead of destroying you. Every loss, every rejection, Every battle was a step closer to your awakening. And now, the time has come. The moment long foretold is unfolding before you. The forces that once sought to keep you blind now tremble at the realization that they have failed. The deception is lifting, the veil is thinning, and your true identity can no longer be hidden. You are not lost. You were never forgotten. You have always been called. And now, nothing can stop what has already been set in motion. There have always been those who sought to take what was never theirs, who attempted to wear a crown that did not fit, who sat upon thrones that were never meant for them. They built their power on deception, claiming authority they had no right to bear, hoping that if they declared themselves rulers long enough, no one would question them. But what belongs to you cannot be stolen. No matter how many false rulers have risen, no matter how many have worn robes that did not belong to them, the truth has remained unchanged. The throne marked for you has never been touched. It has waited in silence, unmoved by the schemes of men, untouched by the hands of those who sought to claim it. No force on earth can lay hold of what was sealed for you before time began. The kingdom has always known this day would come. It has felt the shift in the spiritual realm, has waited with patience as history unfolded, as generations passed, as the battle for dominion raged in unseen places. And now, the appointed time has arrived, the moment you would awaken to your true self, the moment you would finally see who you were always meant to be. The mark of divine royalty is not given by men, nor can it be taken away. It was placed upon you before you entered this world, woven into your very being, inscribed into your destiny by the hands of the Almighty. You were born into this calling, whether you realized it or not. For centuries they worked against you. They positioned themselves in places of influence, controlling systems, rewriting history, ensuring that what belonged to you remained just out of reach. They knew who you were before you did. They recognized the signs long before you ever questioned your purpose. And they understood that the moment you stepped into your true identity, their illusion would crumble. The only way to stop you was to make you forget. So they created distractions. They built false narratives. They surrounded you with lies, with doubts, with carefully constructed deceptions designed to keep you from ever realizing the truth. They whispered into your mind, making you question, making you believe you were insignificant, that you were just another soul wandering through life without purpose. But destiny does not forget. No matter how many lies were spoken, no matter how many obstacles were placed in your path, the truth has always been written. And now, it is rising. The kingdom is no longer waiting. The throne remains unclaimed no longer. The time of awakening is here, and nothing can stop what has already begun. The world is beginning to sense the shift, to feel the weight of what is coming. The air is heavy with the unspoken realization that something has changed, something unstoppable, something undeniable. The ones who worked against you, who sought to bury the truth beneath layers of deception, can no longer ignore what is unfolding before them. They are watching, waiting, realizing that their efforts were in vain. They tried to silence you, to keep you hidden, to make you believe that you were just another ordinary soul. But you were never meant to stay buried. The moment they feared the most has arrived. You are awakening. The chains of illusion are breaking. The truth that was long suppressed is rising. And with it, so are you. There will still be resistance. There will still be voices whispering doubt. People who will try to convince you that you are not who you were always meant to be. They will fight to hold on to their illusion of control, clinging desperately to the power they were never meant to have. But their time is running out. The truth is no longer in their hands. The kingdom has been waiting. It has prepared for this moment since the beginning. And now, the time has come. No more delays. No more distractions. No more doubting what has been placed within you. If you have felt this truth resonate within you, if you know deep down that you were meant for something greater, then this journey is only just beginning. There is more to uncover, more to reveal, more to step into. Thank you for being here. for seeking, for listening. If this message has spoken to you, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what comes next. There are revelations ahead that you do not want to miss. The time is now. The kingdom is calling. Will you answer?